Welcome to Riff. You good, mate?
I'm good, thank you, yeah.
So we're trying something different with this episode, and we've made it in two parts. So what we've done differently is I've given Ben a solo to guess and then to deconstruct. And so in a second we're going to drop that bit in, and you'll see we've done that previously because you've been to the hairdressers since the episode, haven't you, mate?
I have.
Here I am in the studio with Matt Healy from the 1975. So in a second we're going to drop into what we did a couple of weeks ago, which is I played Ben a solo he'd never heard. He has to guess who it is and deconstruct it, and it is freaking awesome. And now we're going to play him the whole song in the context of that solo. So see you on the other side. I'm very excited about this one. It is one of my favourite songs in the whole world. Makes me want to cry just talking about it. It's incredibly beautiful, and I'm pretty certain he's never heard it before.
Should we dive in?
Let's dive in.
It's AC/DC.
Did you know the song?
Couldn't tell. Yeah, I don't think I might have heard it.
So how did you know it was AC/DC straight off?
That's Hone, man.
What? The Malcolm tone?
No, because that first bend is instantly Angus. Angus Young is always overlooked where blues playing is concerned. It's like doing the knowledge, right? There's always there's the things that you just have to know. And that's going to be...
Sorry, for anyone who doesn't live in London, the knowledge is what a London taxi driver has to learn to navigate their way around London.
And it's the same with guitar. You're not going to overlook Jimi Hendrix. You're not going to overlook B.B. King, even if you don't get into them as players because you go down a different route. But I very, very rarely hear guitarists ever talk about Angus Young as a contender for blues playing. But fucking listen to that.
And I would say to any of you who think you can do what Angus does, do it and sound like him.
Yeah, that's really, really hard.
So, but why don't you think you're going to be able to get it? For the reason I said, because it's just
so nuanced. It's all in the bending and it's all in that tone. You can hear the amp just absolutely hooning. Tell our viewers what this guitar is.
This is a Hondo SG. It is my first ever guitar. So this guitar is 40 odd years old.
The lightest strings in the world on it. I bet you're going to say they're nines. Have you ever had the frets done on this guitar?
Yeah, but not for some time.
There's nothing. There's nothing there. What pickup would he be on?
Always on the bridge pickup.
Always on the bridge?
Yeah, I don't...
Oh. Something like that?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you know who he was listening to in the limited 19 years he had before this record?
Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Albert King, B.B. King. He's also interestingly once said a very interesting thing, which is he prefers saxophones to guitars because they wail better.
Is that what he's doing? Something like that. It's so hard. Oh.
That's just a standard blues lick, right? Everyone's heard that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Angus doesn't own that lick.
No, but it's about how you manipulate that, right? I can play that lick, right, but I can't sound like Angus. Do it again. Okay, well that starts with something like that. I'm gonna get this. You said it was easy. That kind of thing. It's just the feel isn't. Okay. Insane.
I think the other thing is that he's just incredibly good at putting all these licks he knows together.
It's really interesting. I know quite a few other guitarists who would be so much better at this than me. for that, because of that construction of like they've done the thing. I haven't done the blues, but this Angus has done the deal with the devil, right? He's been to the crossroads, and as much as Eric Clapton has, as much as
I don't think Clapton's close to Angus.
interesting. I think there's a lot of people in the community out there who would disagree with you. I wouldn't say one's better than the other.
I think
like,
Clapton's absolute Academy of the Overrated.
oh, Cream's awesome. Cream is awesome
There's something about Angus's deal with the devil,
for sure.
which is very special.
And should we now acknowledge my lack of deal with the devil and have a go
Yes.
to the backing track?
Yes.
I really feel like this is going to be sacrilege. See, that's fun.
Well, mate, it was a privilege to be with you while you made that solo. What did you make of it? And now you've lived with it. What do you think? Give us a really quick summary of that solo before we dive into the song itself.
I mean, it's oozing with feel and expression in a way that made it really, really difficult to replicate. Even if I discussed there that I don't have blues chops, I haven't done the knowledge. But even if I did, it would still be impossible to replicate, because each guitar player's vibrato, for example, is as individual as their fingerprint. Right? That's in fact, I'm quite proud of saying it that way. There's no way I'm ever going to get that inflection, that intonation, that articulation as accurately as Angus can do himself. So yeah, my remarks are, and especially having just watched that back, it was so much fun. It was so much fun to sort of get, because it was just mastery, and I love transcribing that kind of thing. So I got loads out of it, and I hope watching it back, people got something out of it as well in the way that we're breaking it down.
Did you want to play it to your mates? You said you had some mates who could play it better. Did you have this urge to say to them?
Definitely. What do you make of this? What do you think? Oh, yeah, the two friends in particular that really get the blues, and hopefully we can get them on the podcast at some point and do an AC/DC.
Yeah,
thing.
or ZZ Top.
Yeah, totally. That would be really, really fun, right? Get them to talk about that, and get them with a guitar in the room, because they'll know how to articulate these things better. They will talk about Eric Clapton, though, Uncle Simon. So
well, I'll allow that.
you have to be prepared for that. I'm really interested to see how we get there. There was something great about like going in cold. Obviously, I got it was AC/DC straight away. But going in cold straight to the solo, I think the more that we do this style of episode, that's going to be challenging. At points.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that this song doesn't have a riff per se, but that's because I think that, like we were just talking about, it would be nice to do going forwards. Okay, you've learnt the solo, you've had your best go at it. Can you make a best guess as to what the riff might be?
Yeah,
like?
Exactly.
And this is, I guess, as a wider thing, can I make a best guess as to what the rest of the song is going to be like? So my impressions about Ride On, it's a slow train. It's blues based, but it doesn't go to the 5 chord. It has that down, now, 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 down, now, 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 which is not, I can't off the top of my head work out what that is, but it's not quite normal blues structure. And I haven't heard any Bon Scott yet. Or is it?
It's Bon Scott, but you have heard Bon Scott. You've heard Highway to Hell.
Yes, but sorry, so far.
But this is from the second album, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Third, if you count both Australian albums as separate albums. But for the sake of most people, it's the second album, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, and the song is called Ride On.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to tie it to Iron Maiden during the song when we talk about it. We're going to tie it to Iron Maiden, rather interestingly.
Okay.
But let's go for it. Ride On.
That vocal is mad.
Why is it mad? I mean, I've lived with that vocal for 45 years.
The tone of his voice is like, I don't know how to describe it. It's so characterful. It kind of sounds like, I don't want to cause offence by sort of likening it to some sort of like peculiar character, but like in my head, like I get images of like some sort of like animated thing, because it's a sort of a, do you know what I mean? It's like there's like a cheeky, playful voice.
Well, I think I'd absolutely agree with you, is that I think Bon is one of those singers who inhabits the character and tells you the story. So in that sense, I think he's close to Sinatra.
Yeah.
I'm not saying in terms of vocal quality. I'm just meaning as I'm in the song and I'm telling you the story of the song.
Yeah.
Like you absolutely believe him.
Yeah, totally.
And this song is about Bon, and that's that storytelling style. So his weaknesses potentially as a vocalist are more than compensated for by his brilliance as a storyteller.
Yeah, storytelling is really important, and that awareness of like vocal control. What's the lyric there?
It's another lonely evening.
It's another lonely evening. So I mean, you could have gone, it's another lonely evening, but it's another. It's like it's words painting, word setting, right? Because like, you feel lonely because the vocal's on its own.
What do you think about
so bare?
Quite how, and the instrumentation's bare.
Totally, yeah. Two guitars doing the same thing there, right?
But what always strikes me about this when I try to play it is how difficult it is to play it that quietly.
Yeah. You can hear the real like brightness of the strings because it's so loud, but they're playing so quietly.
So it's quite a thing, right? You'd think. I mean, there's nothing complex about what they're playing.
No, but it's feel.
But the execution and feel is extreme, and the drums are sat back, and
you
immediately know, and you've got it immediately. You've never heard this. Someone's going to tell me a story now.
Yeah, totally. Let's carry on.
In another lonely town, but I ain't too young to worry, and I ain't too old to cry when a woman gets me down.
Okay, we know what this song's about.
Right.
We got a sense of what Bon Scott's going through.
This is a blues song, right? You know, my baby done left me, and life's hard.
I've been, and reminds me of that moment that I think I've already spoken about before, when my jazz guitar teacher in first year was like, "You don't know the blues. You don't know the blues. This guy knows the blues, right?" Yeah.
Got another empty bottle. In another empty bed. Ain't too young to admit it. No, I'm not too old to lie. I'm just another empty head.
Okay, so we've got through two of those forms there. Two stanzas, as it were. Such not reservedness. Like the musicians are holding themselves back.
They're very contained.
Yeah, they're really holding themselves back. Right, that's a really, really interesting thing there. The bass is hardly noticeable. It's there,
but it's doing a job.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally. It's not vacant. It's not surplus to requirement, but it's surplus to requirement. Surplus to requirement. But it's hardly noticeable. Neither of the guitars, really. They're all so together and gelled. I can see in the waveform we're about to get something different.
That's why I'm lonely. I'm so lonely. But I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ride on.
Okay, cool. You heard the guitar scrapes and stuff in there as well. That, like, you know, this is in the room, this is happening.
But to go from that to the kind of, not quite a crescendo, but they build the volume and the emotional pressure, and then they just stop dead.
Yeah.
And all of the energy, all of the emotional energy is in that. Ben talked about the waveform because we can see the volume of the track. It's like the stock market's crashed.
Yeah, massively. I mean, it goes down to absolutely nothing, and then just that vocal comes in again to sort of like capitulate. Is that the word? Like,
No.
finish.
Maybe.
Bring it all together.
Bring it all together, yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Right on. Standing on the edge of the road, thumb in the air. One of these days I'm gonna change my evil ways. Till then I'll just keep riding on.
Ah, okay. So this is
There are two solos.
yeah, because that didn't sound quite like the. That was it. I just want to go back on that, so I have to look around the corner.
His vocal, to go back to your earlier point, he's just in this. He's he's drinking, he's on his own, he's on the road, he's just thumb in the air. This is the song of the itinerant musician.
So, in the timeline of AC/DC, because I mean I'm struggling to put Iron Maiden together, let alone
This is pre-Maiden. Maiden don't even need.
totally. But in their timeline, this is their second album
So AC/DC had 2 albums in Australia.
that only were released in Australia.
Yes, they were then put together. They were called High Voltage and TNT.
Oh right, okay.
They were then merged into a worldwide issue of High Voltage, which I think is 8 songs from High Voltage and 2 from TNT.
Right,
Might be the
okay.
other way round. This is
the best of early AC/DC.
when they signed for Atlantic, and this is the first album under Atlantic. But you do reckon, so this is being produced. AC/DC were from Australian pop music royalty.
How so?
So their brother,
Yeah.
George Young, and his best friend, Harry Vander, are in a band called the Easy Beats, who are the Australian equivalent of the Beatles.
All right.
So Angus and Malcolm grew up with teenage girls around their house screaming for their brother and his mates.
Right. Okay.
They are the biggest band in Australia, and they have a global hit with a song called Friday on My Mind.
Right.
And
Is that one we shall do?
no, we'll swerve it. And so, of course, Malcolm was given their old guitars, which he then passed down to Angus. And Harry Vander and George Young.
Is that why he's got the pickup taken out of it?
No, that was him. He decided to do that
Okay.
himself.
Okay.
And Harry Vander and George Young produced this for them.
Right.
So that is like Paul McCartney and John Lennon being your dad and uncle and
Yeah.
producing your first 2 albums.
Yeah. Totally. Okay. Wow. So then they don't meet much until
4 or 5 more albums from this.
Wow.
They are just they're Australian upstarts at this point still.
crazy. But long way to the top is
On the first album.
on the first album. This is Dirty D's Done Dirt Cheap is
Yeah.
this album.
Yeah.
What else would I know from this album?
From Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap.
Yeah.
Well, obviously Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap.
Yeah.
I doubt you'd know any other songs
Okay.
from this album.
Yeah, because bear in mind my reference is either what you've already shown me or Iron Man.
Yeah. I don't think there's a couple of tracks on this album we might dig into from a kind of 12-bar bluesy perspective, but there's not
Okay.
much else. It's generally regarded as not a strong album.
Right, okay.
But this song has gone on to become part of hard rock folklore, partly because it's such a great example of what made Bon special.
Yeah,
his
totally.
ability to tell you this story.
How many albums did he do before he died?
Well, he does all the way up to Highway to Hell, so that's, I mean...
And they'd already been with Mutt Lange before Highway to Hell.
Highway to Hell's first album.
Ah, so that's why there's such a significant change in sound. Okay, interesting. Let's continue. So I'm guessing that's a chorus we've just listened to.
Yeah.
That's what that ride-on refrain.
But it's not really a chorus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's a chorus that stops.
Yeah. We've had the crescendo beforehand. Like it's not. Yeah, it's interesting structuring. Okay. So good, just like such dynamic control, and that bit where Angus is either like bending up and then tapping the neck like higher up to get that. Like
But it's still
kind of
quite subtle.
very much so.
I don't mean subtle in the sense of... He's not going for it.
No. It's really evocative of, like, specifically BB King.
Yeah, well, of whom Angus is a huge fan.
Yeah, so I was getting Albert King and BB King. I was listening to how they might sound in my head. Like, BB King is that much more phrase-based thing. Albert King was all about, like, phrasing through bending. BB King bent.
You've just made me
say
want to
something.
hear Joe Bonamassa do a version of this.
Has Joe Bonamassa
No,
done a
not
version
to the best
this?
of my knowledge.
Oh, okay.
It's a very interesting song in that context. So AC/DC had never played it live.
Really?
They've only played it live once, to the best of my knowledge. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Which was with Brian, and it's a pretty shambolic performance from what I can see.
Okay.
But it was played live, famously, by a French band, a French metal band called
Okay.
Trust. And
That means something different in French?
no,
or-
it was a
It was an English
Trust.
name.
and Trust had a drummer.
Right.
And the drummer who plays this song with Trust is very well known to you. Everyone who knows this is going, God, tell him.
I mean, I've got nothing to go on there.
Nico McBrain.
Oh, really? No way.
So there is
I bet he plays it terribly.
There is a live version of this played by Trust.
Okay.
With Nico.
Well, you know that. So I've got a gig later this evening, and that is the band that Nico sat in with. I'm going to play with that band tonight. Yeah. That's a story. It's a function band that I'm playing with tonight. But Nico McBrain was at one of their gigs, and he got up and played "Respect," as in Aretha Franklin. Yeah. Awful, terrible. We love Nico, but he can't play soul. Which is precisely why I find it hard to imagine him playing this with any kind of sensibility. Is it any good?
I've barely listened to it, because why would I listen to any other version?
Precisely, yeah, okay. What was I going to talk about? There was a guitar thing. Let's just carry on listening.
Broke another promise. Now I broke another heart. But I ain't too young to realize that I ain't too old to try to get back to the start.
Yeah, cool. Again, the phrasing of the vocal is so set in the blues tradition, and like the thematic content of what he's talking about and the phrasing, it's also idiosyncratic.
Yeah, and you wonder, like, I think one of the reasons that it doesn't get covered, even though it has subsequently achieved iconic status.
Yeah.
How the hell do you cover this?
Yeah.
Because you're going to want to add more.
Yeah,
and
what do you have to say with it?
This song is about everything's been taken away.
Yeah, so you want to hear Joe Bonamassa do it, but I want to hear Derek Trucks do it with the whole slide thing, because actually that's the amount to the level of which I think Angus has got expression on guitar here, is the similar thing to like Angus Young makes the guitar sing how Derek Trucks does with his slides, in the way that no one else, and like slide guitar is such a rich thing, but like no one does it like Derek Trucks, no one does this like Angus Young. Yeah,
And it's another red light nightmare. Whoa.
is he referring to?
Yeah, red lights.
Yeah. So like
prostitution.
Yeah, and the same as Charlotte the Harlot.
Yeah, and also, but of course, red light.
These naughty boys.
But Bon is a lyricist. Bon knows it's also about red light as a stoplight.
Yeah,
On a road, because of course
he's on the road.
He's on the road, so Bon is one of the cleverest lyricists in a kind of street poetry sense. Before we get into the kind of psychobabble that you're going to hear later, where I think some lyricists are cleverer with mashing words up, but Bon has an expression of that life on the road, that life in the gutter, that being down and out, is incredibly rich with his use of language,
and totally not something to be overlooked. Again, like good lyric writing is so incredibly hard.
Well, we're going to find in a second one of my favourite lyrics, and it's not in the world, and it's just partly I've thought about it long and hard. I think it's partly just the way he delivers it.
Yeah, totally. That's also like that's why performing is so important, right? In poetry or sonnets, or there's a reason why we still want to listen to Patrick Stewart.
Yeah,
He's just released a whole album of like every sonnet, Like people like that stuff sells, man, because it's delivery combined with like good craftsmanship. Yeah.
On another red light street, and I ain't too old to hurry, 'cause I ain't too old to die, but I sure am hard to beat.
I just love that. He's down and out. Everything's going wrong, and he's getting older, and but the moment he's going to utter that lyric, "I sure am hard to beat," he swells.
Yeah,
he picks him. He's going to get up and go again.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
just an incredible piece of delivery, I think.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I want to listen to it again. Let's go back on that.
But I sure am hard to beat.
Yeah, there's such determination in there, and like cheekiness. You can see he's singing when he's like, "I've been fucked around, I've been that, but I've failed."
I'm hard to beat.
Yeah, totally. Okay, here we go.
But I'm lonely. Lord, I'm lonely. What am I gonna do? Got myself a one-way ticket. Going the wrong way. Wanna change my evil ways. One of these days.
It's like not yet.
Yeah, like that ability to make you laugh in a song.
Yeah.
And he's not making a joke. He's just leering.
Yeah.
Leer's a bit too strong in this. I mean, I'm going to change my evil ways. One of these days.
I'll get round to it. Yeah, cool.
One of these days.
Cool. Okay, so just before we get into this, because obviously this is the bit that we're now replicate. Like that was the bit I was trying to replicate. The things I want to listen out for, and I want to therefore impress upon our listener, is the. So we've already had that first solo, and that was really reserved, but there was so much soul and expression in it. What we're going to get here is a lesson in pacing yourself, which is ironic, seeing as like Angus Young can fucking go forever.
Yeah.
But like this solo, I think this is the biggest remark I can make about it, is that like it's a lesson in pacing yourself and like letting the phrase, saying something and then letting that sit and letting people like ruminate on that before you say your next thing, right? Rather than
Yeah. And just in terms of, well, there's no surprise here. Like the moment we heard the first few chords and you got the pattern of the song, you knew that the solo was going to fit, didn't you?
Yeah, totally.
Because it's a 12-bar blues.
Yeah.
And what I'm interested in when we're listening to it with this depth is, I'm always struck by quite how controlled the rhythm section of Phil, Mark Evans, and Malcolm are here throughout. Whether now we're going to listen to it in this kind of context, whether they're going to step it up a bit.
Yes,
because they don't want the bottom to fall out of of Angus's foundation.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting thing. Like as a guitarist, when you're getting stuck into a solo, the band supporting you is something that like people learning or people getting into music don't always consider. Is that actually like the bed in which you're sitting, sleeping, is fucking is really important, right?
Yeah,
like and when the band don't get that, or like when the band doesn't control dynamics, or like, and it's something, sometimes it's not an ineffable thing that like, it's not like everyone can just know what you want.
No.
But as a guitarist, when sometimes you listen to the song and go like, no, I need everyone to pull back.
Yeah.
Give me space to like, and then build. And like, it's one of the most annoying things where like you're getting stuck into something, but just because you're,
the band's trying to go with you.
Yeah, and it's like, no, like, stop, I haven't got there.
my sense is that they don't, which is, given this song is practically 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
For the band never to let just.
Yeah. Also, in a situation like my whole angle on music is that like there's a brief. There's always a brief, right? Because I've got clients, I've got an audience, and whatnot. Here, they have no brief. In that respect, they have their AC/DC KPIs, but like there is no brief of like, oh, we really ought to like think about. It's just about the composition and what serves the composition best. But that also makes that's even a more mature decision for them to go like, no, we're sitting back, man. Yeah, let's listen. So I thought he was, a lesson in pacing himself, but there we go. But look, pacing yourself is all about knowing what your limit is and like how far you can go. So if that's what he's doing at the start, where's it going to go? He's clearly got loads of budget left.
Really dry guitar sound.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
There's nothing
there. It's Angus in the room and the boys.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits. You'll often hear this on reaction channels. Do try to listen to this in stereo, so you can just hear those distinct parts.
100%.
Because there's no one's helping Angus here.
No.
He's not got an effect pedal which is making it bigger. He's not double tracking it.
And I can't do that. I definitely can't. Whenever I step up to solo, I'm slapping on way more delay. I'm slapping on more overdrive, so that like I've got my own bed to sit on. He's not doing that. It's still just like as raw. I bet you didn't even touch the volume knob on the guitar.
Yeah, it's like it's quite incredible, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is.
Space, breath.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to compensate. He's got all the licks in the world, but he doesn't need to compensate or fill a space just because leaving space is so important. It's just like, lets everyone go like, what was that you just did, man? Like, wow. Let's just like listen to that, go back a little bit and listen to that space in context and what comes next, because that'll be really important. So good. So it's just like, fuck you. I'm at the end now. I can do what I want.
Do you not think as well, Cleve, if you're learning guitar, just stick on a 12-bar blues backing track, learn your pentatonic scales, and by and large, you're not going to end up on a wrong note. But there are some notes that are less wrong than others for where you end on the chords.
Yeah, for sure.
Angus's selection of where to end is just... There's a couple of moments there where he decides to play the same lick again.
Yeah.
He repeats himself, but it feels completely different because the foundation has changed.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
And it's part of what gives this song its emotional tension.
Right, okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
You can go back a little bit. It's just those two bars. He plays exactly the same thing, I think.
I just wanted to listen to that bit again, but here we go. Okay, from here. Yeah, really good observation. Yeah, it's like he's playing the same lick but adjusted for the new chord.
Yeah.
Which in this case is just putting it up a semitone, which is like the guitarist's heaven, right?
But it's very satisfying to it's part of what hooks you on this musical journey.
That's why, again, guitarists, we are able to do that all the time because we just have to move our hand left or right. However, he doesn't do that. So, like, that wasn't a guitarist's cop-out decision. That was a musical decision.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to be a coincidence that, like, in order to achieve the effect that he wanted, all he had to do was move his hand. But it wasn't I'm a guitarist. Because, like that's what you learn on, like, day one of jazz school is that, like, okay, I'm playing on an A minor chord, so I'm going to be using, like, an Aeolian or Dorian sound. Well, if I want to be really hip over that A minor chord, I'll play a B flat pentatonic or Dorian sound, because it's just like really out. You play the same lick, put it up a semitone, put it back down. It sounds cool. Not for guitarists though, because it's so easy for guitarists. For a saxophone player to do that, it's great because it's not the whole physics of the instrument doesn't work in the same way. So that's what I'm saying about like with Angus doing that. Whilst it looks like to an untrained ear a cop out, I don't think it is. I think that's a very measured thing. Anyway, let's go. Just listen to that, like you can hear the fretboard, man. You can hear the fretboard. That's I just want to go back on that. You can hear the fretboard as he's like squealing it. They're like really quiet backing vocals.
Yeah, but also I think this is one of the things AC/DC had realised is that certainly part of was a teenage boy getting into them was that the kind of boys stepping up to the mic to do the backing vocal.
Yeah.
That's part
much
that's,
like the Beatles, or
but then walking back like it's choreographed, and that you're starting to see a manifestation of this here. Mm-hmm. Whilst Bon is starting to freewheel here.
Yes. You can see where these like the identity of like Bon Scott and Angus Young, especially, is like Angus. You know, the image of AC/DC is Angus walking across the stage in the uniform, doing the thing, like such independence from like the hammering rhythm section. Like,
and
Malcolm.
I think it's difficult to overestimate the fact that Bon was as big a part of the personality of the band as Angus was.
Did that change when Brian?
Well, clearly that dynamic changed somewhat, and Angus took more of the forefront. I mean, Angus clearly was part of the shtick, but Bon was the front man.
Yes, right. Yeah, totally. And where has that changed later? Yeah, I see.
Looking for a truck. Keep on riding. Riding on and 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 on.
Suddenly it's gotten way bigger.
But you can say, so if you look at the waves here, this bit's way up high.
Yeah, it's like suddenly it's got like much, like they know that they're at the end, like suddenly, but it's not like they're going spang, gang, they're still reserved, but they've grown. It's such intelligent control of dynamics and energy.
Myself a good time. Ooh, yeah. One of these days. One of these days.
Yeah, awesome. It's great. It's fantastic. It's really cool.
I mean, at once very AC/DC,
Yeah.
and yet clearly it's not got a riff.
Yeah.
Doesn't rock along.
No, because it's a smooching tune.
Yeah. I played it to a friend once on a road trip. It's brilliant late night road trip music.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, we just want that. Hey, look at me! I'm a musician on the road, bluesy vibe.
Yeah.
And I played it with a very close friend for whom it's not his genre. Very into classical music, and he practically burst into tears.
Right. Okay.
He just said that is incredibly beautiful.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, it 100% is. It's and this is what we spoke about in the previous episodes about how these things transcend genre. Yeah. Like, that's why you can play this to a classical person, person into classical music, and it connects with them. So long as someone's open-minded.
Sure.
But if someone likes music as much as we do, and you're sharing music, anyone's gonna be open-minded.
Well, and you can imagine, because also...
Unlike Uncle Simon, when taking the piss out of me looking like Matty Healy, we watched Glastonbury together and he had nothing but sarcastic bullshit to say, although I did agree with most of it.
I think you feel like you're in the room with them.
Yeah, there's so much room tone in there, which is not like... It's not like they put that in afterwards, that's just like...
No. I want again huge shout out to the rhythm section, because that is two stellar performances.
Yeah.
And I mean stellar in the sense of emotional.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't eke more out of Bon and Angus's performances. They both totally inhabit the performance, and that is utterly dependent on the fact that their bandmates give them the platform on which to do that.
Yeah, 100%. I in so many ways, people who've watched this podcast have a good sense of what I'm like on guitar now and what my strengths are and what they're not. And whilst I clearly do really enjoy playing lead guitar and I like soloing and stuff, there's a massive part of me that really wishes that like I was in a band where all I could do was rhythm. Like I think in like the ideal world, if my career had gone down like the you're going to be a rock star in about, I would want to be Malcolm. Like I think like it's just where I'm happier, but it's such an important thing to like not take the spotlight and to like contribute to the music. And that means that like a lot of the time you're just sitting in the background, but like if you took it away, it would feel so wrong.
Yeah, we've talked about this a couple of times. If you think that's really easy to do, you go and do it.
Precisely. I mean, you've just watched me at the start not be able to do it. There we go. Thank you for showing me that.
That's
cool.
good. Right?
Yeah,
We'll do some more of those undiscovered tracks. We look forward to your comments below. That was Ride On by AC/DC.